Morning. The cold has set in, so I'm gonna make a pretty short video, I think, just about something's on my mind, but it's too big of a topic for me to tackle in a video, so I just want to make a short video, and I'll put a link in the description of another video I saw recently that did a good job of bringing some of these ideas together and presenting them much better than I could. But it gets into the world of the supernatural, I guess. I've noticed that the supernatural is probably the area that a lot of my conservative friends just really struggle with. Like, how can we think about things like angels and demons in a modern sense, and are these things real, or were they literary invention? I think they're real. I think there is a world beyond what we see with our five senses. I believe that world's always been there. I believe the Bible talks about it. The Upanishads talk about it. Every holy scripture talks about it. And modern day interpretations of those holy scriptures try to, in a lot of ways, I don't know, look down on these ideas as maybe something that we have grown out of and needed to grow out of. And it strikes me as odd as that the various religions and people of faith around the world have spent more and more time trying to use rational thought, scientific thought, to explain away these things that are difficult to grapple with when we talk about spirituality and religion. But I think we can use modern language to describe very old ideas and not abandon the thought that these older ideas were wrong or naive, or somehow came from a place of a lesser understanding or a less intellectual time. I think if we can look at some of the modern things that are happening around the supernatural world, we can start to bridge that gap between what was being said in the past, what are we saying now, what words do we use. If we use a word like alien, is that much different than angel or demon? And how can you cross over the language barrier that we have to really take these very central ideas about, this unseen realm or this unseen world, and try to make sense of it. I believe there's a lot that we can look at inside this world, a lot of things like technology and what we've learned about seeing beyond the spectrum of our five senses. We've obviously figured out ways to see things that we can't see with our eyes. Something as simple as an X-ray. We can look inside of a body and look beyond the flesh on the outside and see things inside with CT scans, MRIs. We're able to see way beyond our physical senses, and I believe that we also have the ability to see the effects of things that are going on in this unseen realm. And I have some personal experience with this. I have some strange situations that I can't really explain in a natural way. I've shared some of those stories with people that are close to me, and happy to share those stories with people that are close to me. Maybe I'll make a video at some point about some of the things that I've seen when I was younger, when I was a kid, some things that I saw that I couldn't explain, and some things that have happened in recent years that are just beyond physical explanation. You have to sort of get into this supernatural world. I believe we've been doing that for a long time. I believe prophets did that. I believe everyday people did that. I believe witches that were burned were able to do that. So I think it's important to give some serious thought to what's really going on around things like this. Not be presumptuous and assume that we know everything, because we've never known everything. We know more and more. As we develop technologies, we're able to understand things much better than we were before. And as brilliant minds are put onto some of these ideas and subjects, we get a deeper and deeper understanding of that. Just like we've learned about DNA and the building blocks of our human bodies and how they function and how they interact with the world around us. We've developed a much deeper understanding, and that's been through curiosity and scientific study, and sometimes through spiritual study along with that. Sometimes it's just simple things like meditating on an idea and getting insight into things, and spending time in solitude. Some of the greatest scientific discoveries have been made through these sort of introspective, deep searches for knowledge, and we've been able to then use more practical scientific means to prove some of these ideas that have sort of been the mystical or mysterious things in the world that we were trying to understand. So I'm going to put a link in the description to a video. It's from a channel called Ring Them Bells. It's becoming one of the channels I like to watch. I definitely can't say that I agree with all of the beliefs of a lot of the people that are on there, but the overall direction of that channel and some of the information they're putting out is definitely it's along the same path that I spend time in when I'm studying and trying to understand things that are maybe a pretty far step over that gap from what we understand scientifically and what we feel intuitively about this world we live in, and some of the light and dark forces that are at work that are maybe beyond just human understanding unless you put them in a deeper spiritual context. So I'll put a video out there. In that video, they talk about some of the concerns and opportunities around things like artificial intelligence and the possibility of life outside of the Earth, and how we can look at other life forms, extraterrestrial life forms, not as alien, but more as siblings, more as cosmic relation, rather than threats or others. It's a good reminder that this othering idea is one of the greatest challenges we have as humanity, is to somehow get people to understand that this othering of people is an evil influence that we have inside of us. This need to separate, this need to isolate and create enemies and see people as threats rather than as neighbors that we have way more in common with than we have differences. So I think it's a good video. Rather than go on for 20, 30, 40 minutes myself, I think I'll just leave it there and say, go check it out. Let me know what you think. And I'm sure I'll make a longer video about this. I'll probably do a video on just artificial intelligence and that idea of creating that ourselves. And then I'll probably do a video a little bit on just celestial beings and what it means to come from the heavens, and where is the domain of heaven? What is that idea? Where do we go? Do we go anywhere? Or does our spirit remain? I think there's a lot that I want to talk about there, but we'll save it for another video. Go check out the video in the description. I think it's a good one, and definitely is going to do a better job of laying the groundwork than I could do. So, thanks for stopping by. Let me know what you think. Have a good one.